What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 20 on my road to 700 pounds. And this is 5 weeks out from the February 17th meet. Today I've got a 630 2 by 1, basically one rep twice, starting with a 595 warm-up. No lift off, no spot on this. Just kind of getting in the groove, making sure I have my speed. Today's a little bit chilly, and this particular gym doesn't have any heat, which no big deal. I just make sure I stay warm, get a little bit more warm up. You'll notice this warm up is slightly different than my normal warm up. I normally go up to 585 and then go straight into my working set. Because of the heavier weight that I'm dealing with today and the temperatures, I went ahead and took two heavy singles here. The first one being 595. Second one here with a little help with the lift off is 615, and the world famous Jessica Belt. She is a phenomenal power lifter on the world stage, as well as a nationally ranked physique competitor. So here I use this to make sure I'm getting in the groove, feel everything nice, and feel pretty good. Going on to my first heavy main set with 630 pounds on the bar. And you'll notice, obviously, I use some smelling salts here, and you can definitely find that particular product. It's a sponsor of mine. Up here in the left corner, that's my banner of theirs. It's basically a smelling salt, ammonia. It helps wake you up, get you in the zone. You pretty much forget about everything else that's going on except the task at hand. Definitely good if you're having trouble focusing, or you just want a little extra bump right before getting the weight off. And so here we go. These are pause reps, of course, meet prep. Everything is paused, and was pretty good here. Obviously, I'm still a little bit cold. I did get a good warm up, but being a chilly day, obviously that first rep is always going to be, I wouldn't say a grinder, but I'm always looking for it to be faster. No matter how fast it looks, I definitely feel that it's going slower than when I look at it on film. I feel a little bit better. But part of this is just the meet prep and getting in the zone, not only physically, pyramiding up and getting rid of the extra reps that we don't need, starting to do singles with some heavier weight. This being 5 weeks out, these are all PRs as far as the timeline that we're at. The time that I was doing this for the last meet was pretty much 2 weeks before the meet. Being able to say I've done 630 twice with 5 weeks to go, I think we're in a good position. Training feels good. Moving on here, these are actually a little bit different. These are isometric presses against an immovable object, obviously, and then 510 for 2 speed reps. And basically what we're doing is we're putting 100% force into the bar. Obviously you can't really see it here, but I'm really putting 100% pressure into this squat rack, into those pins, and pushing against it with 100% force, and then going straight over and doing speed reps. And this is 510, obviously. I've moved the pins up to about 2 inches below lockout on these particular last 2 sets of this. And this is obviously the first one was about mid-range to work on some sticking points in the middle, and the upper part, doing the last couple of inches there, really helps on making sure the triceps are hitting some good stress at the top of the lift, so that way when the weight is obviously on the bar, those sticking points won't be an issue, or at least as much of an issue. So moving on here to the last 510 for 2. Everything feels really good. Everything's clicking. No pain, no joint pain, no tendons, no muscular pain. Moving on here, this is weighted dips with 250 pounds. You'll actually notice the set called for 5. I blacked out a little bit there, and that's one of the things that I have to be pretty cautious of, especially if I'm lifting alone. But even if there is, there's no way to really spot that. So this particular day, I went ahead and called that set. It was supposed to be 2 sets of 5 with 250 pounds, plus my body weight being 295. So just about 545 pounds worth of resistance there on my triceps. And it really puts a lot of pressure on my head, basically, just holding my breath, trying to stay braced. And occasionally I'll get some lightheadedness, and that's basically just because of the pressure that we're putting there. And I wanted to be safe. I did two sets of 5 with 225 before that set, so I did get some good weighted dips in as far as a warm up, but that's pretty heavy as it is. So just being safe, wanted to move on. And these are 60-pound floor flies, pausing slightly at the bottom, and doing a few sets of this to make sure I'm really working on the pecs. Like I've said before, being a close grip bencher, I don't put a lot of excess stress on my pecs during the actual bench press movement, so we definitely supplement with accessories. And I'll say this time and time again, I am a huge advocate for this. Obviously my workouts with Josh have shown this, but my workouts are typically 70 to 80% accessory work. So obviously I hit my main sets, get them out of the way. That normally takes about an hour and a half to get up to my main heavy bench set, and then I spend probably a good 3 hours after that. Obviously it's all combined here on the video, but this is a 3-hour process from the isometric bench press all the way to the tricep rope. And most of that is just rest in between the main exercises. So like I'll do all the floor flies with the rest between 120 seconds, 3 to 4 minutes or so in between each one of these fly sets, and then I'll take probably a 10-minute rest before moving on to like lat pull downs, which you'll see here. I've actually changed it up this week. I think that's a pretty good idea. Instead of facing forward, we're actually facing out and pulling down with the chest up. It hits those lats from a little bit different angle. Definitely feels different, and I like it. It's not as easy. Definitely have some trouble keeping my feet planted because there's not a brace there to put my thighs under. But that actually allows me to really stress that lat muscle just a little bit more from a different angle, kind of a different mindset in it. It changes up the muscle, kind of keeps me guessing. So I definitely welcome that, especially the last few weeks here going into the meet. I don't want to be stagnant. I definitely don't want to make anything crazy, changing anything to hurt myself, but I'm okay with obviously changing a few things up here and there. We did take off the slingshot this week and replaced it with some isometrics. So that's just another little change you might have noticed. But I definitely, wanted to mention this is definitely a chilly day in Houston. Obviously being the winter months, it's supposed to be chilly, but in Houston typically we have 70 to 80 degree days. This particular day it was about 40 degrees outside, which that's a little chillier than I would like. And I like to work out, in a t-shirt and shorts. So I definitely wanted to make sure between the sets that I was staying warm and keeping warm. You don't want your muscles to get cold. Obviously you don't want to be working out with cold muscles. That's one thing I stress. Moving on here, these are the tricep ropes with 150 pounds. I got a few sets of 12 on these, and these are really the finisher for the day. I really make sure I hold at the bottom there as a pause and make sure that I'm really grinding out those triceps. By this time of the day I'm pretty much taxed. Muscles are tired, kind of ready to get a meal in me. But I really enjoy doing tricep ropes and working on the triceps because that really is a key to the bench press. But I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, 2,100 subscribers. I appreciate that. Please like and subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at SwimHack. And tune in next week. We've got some heavyweight we're going to be working with. So appreciate you guys. See you soon.